Hey, hi Ben.
Hey, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm doing good.
How's your morning going? That's good. Um, I thought nobody was gonna join.
Yeah, I just I I'm the only one, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Um, so it's 7:06. Maybe I'll wait 1 minute. Now that you join, maybe I'll wait a minute in case somebody else joins, so I
Sure.
can get. Do you guys work Monday through Friday or over the weekend as well?
Not just Monday to Friday.
Okay. That's good. Nice to have a weekend off, eh?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. What do you usually do on the weekend, over the weekend?
Uh, do a lot of paperwork, paying bills
Okay.
because during the week, I don't have time, right? I'm working from 7:30 to 5:30, 6 probably. So, usually Saturdays are
Uh-huh.
pretty busy. I take my kid to soccer training in the morning, and in the afternoon I he goes to English classes,
Okay.
so I need to take him as well. But sometimes in the middle of the two events, I try to do a lot of things from my side, just to go to the banks, to buy some stuff and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I hate going to the bank. I don't
Sure.
like going to the bank at all. Because
Yeah,
normally you spend a lot of time there.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. And now I'm used to use the application or
right.
the service online, right?
Yeah. Yeah, me as well. I'm more into the online stuff because, for example, today I have to pay the rent for this house, and I rent an apartment. So the person that I was renting the apartment for used to pay me online and just do the transaction, and I was good because I mean didn't have to go to the place and get the money. But the person that I'm renting the money for today, like he does not have an online account, so I need to go there and get the money. So I don't like that. And the
Got it.
person that I need to pay the money for this house does not have an online account either. So
Okay.
I just messaged him like, hey, where can we meet to give you the money? And I'm like, we shouldn't be doing that.
And it's weird now that some people still doesn't have any bank account, something like that, or even not bank account, but they don't use online services.
Yeah, because I think everybody has an account now, but they're not into the online stuff. Hey Hector, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Hey, how's your day going? At this time, very early in the morning.
Yeah, it's really difficult to start the day really early.
Yeah, do you usually wake up late?
And no, but yesterday I sleep really late because I clean my house.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah, normally, no, me, I usually go to bed like around 11 or 12. But I'm trying to change that routine because it's not good at all. I think going to bed like around 11 or 12 is not good at all. So Actually last night it was 9 p.m. and I was falling asleep and I was oh man, I can, I can't even be, you know, here in the living room because I was like really falling asleep and I was surprised because normally me, it, I started falling asleep at like around 11 or 12 and yesterday it was 9 p.m. and I wanted to, go to bed that early. So yeah,
It's,
I
I think,
I need to change that routine, eh? Like for real. Yeah. Okay. Well, Ben, thank you. Welcome to the class again. I want to thank you all for connecting. Um, you didn't connect on time, but still, thank you. I'm gonna share. Um, sorry, let me check something that I got on the oven. Hold on. All right. So I get up on my screen a presentation for a topic that we'll go over today. So over this week, we've been discussing about meetings, like vocabulary meeting, um, also how to open meetings, and which is the topic that we'll see today. And so everything's been about meetings. So our today's topic is how to open a meeting. This is class number 4. And here we go. So when we are opening meetings, it is very important the way we kick off, okay? The way we start our meetings. So and here I have some of the key points like for welcoming phrases as well. So I have, let me just highlight this. Small talk before the meeting. Start with an introduction. Announce the subject and duration of the meeting. Explain the purpose. Outline the objectives. Develop your meeting and wrap up in questions. Okay. I think this is self-explanatory, and not only because it is like, oh, welcoming phrases. I know what small talks before meetings are. I know how to start with an introduction. I know that this announced. I know we have to announce the subject and duration of the. Okay, so I think this is self-explanatory, and we all can say, okay. I mean, we all know that, right? So it's needless, for me to explain it to you. So I would rather have you tell me what you think. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the first one, which is the small talk before the meeting. Again, these are welcoming phrases on how to open a meeting, and I want you to tell me. I want you to think about the meetings you've had throughout this past time. So think about the meetings you've had, and if you apply these or if you don't, like if you haven't done it yet. Welcome, Carlos, George as well. Um, so what are your thoughts? Have you done it? You have not in your meetings?
yeah, this the small talk. I usually do it during the meeting, and more if at the beginning there is mm, we don't have the total audience for the meeting,
Hmm.
so we can give like 1-2 minutes for the rest of the people to
Okay.
join. So we do like or I do a small talk with the people, right? Just asking how the day is going, or if there was any specific conversation that we just had, just to do a brief, a summary, right? Something like that.
Okay. And for small talks, like what kind of small talks do you do?
Most of the time it's like we did at the beginning, right? Asking how it's going
Uh,
for the people, making or doing some icebreakers, making some jokes, little jokes sometimes,
uh,
just to get people's attention or just to make people laugh
right.
before we start the meeting.
And also, thank you, Ben. And also, there is a difference when you ask, like, say that it's 7 a.m. We all joined, and then I ask you, "Hey guys, welcome to the other session. How are you?" And then, "Oh, I'm good, thank you. Okay, you? I'm good. All right. Just gonna wait one more minute for the rest to join. Okay. Good. How about that? How that how does that sound to you?
Sleepy,
Again? Come again?
sleepy, sleepy.
Yeah, sleepy, that's one thing. And also careless. I'm asking you
Yeah.
like, hey, how are hey, how are you? Like just because I have to ask you, eh? But there's no like there's no interest in the end, like to know how you guys doing. So that's very important. So if you're gonna do a small talk and that small talk is about asking how they are, it has to be, it has to sound like you are really interested in knowing. And if they say, hey, how are you this morning? Oh, I'm sleepy. You might say like, hey, oh, I'm sleepy too. But I just got my cup of coffee. I'm just gonna get my cup of coffee so I can wake up and spit things up here. Or uh but make up a conversation out of that question, like how are you? And but we can also start conversations differently, not only with that question. How else could you start a conversation like in a small talk without asking how people are doing?
Um, Sometimes, adding to that, I ask, for example, hey, have you seen this new movie? Or have you go to the theater? Do you like that saga? Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's right. The other day I had a presentation with it was not with my boss, it was with people that I had to train on something new. And it was people from Canada. Normally, when I meet up with them, everybody's serious. Nobody turns on their camera. And if I ask them like, "Hey guys, how are you doing today?" They're like, "Good, and you?" That's it. Every time I ask them like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" They're like, even if I'm happy and if I'm smiling, they're always like, "Good, and you?" That's like that's like a very cold way to say like, "Yeah, I'm good, man. Just continue."
And I would say, in my experience, when I start meetings, I first of all need to know who is my audience.
Yeah.
Uh, and depending, for example, I understand that American people can be pretty straightforward. They just don't like to chit chat a lot during the meetings,
Yes, that's
and,
right.
and they just like to be on time. They need to go through the steps and all that stuff. Uh, People from Asia, for example, these people is pretty difficult because of the cultural thing. They are very, I don't know, it perhaps not rude,
Hmm.
but they are like they are very by the book.
Yes.
And here in Latin America, we like to talk a lot during the
Yeah.
meetings. So I tried to avoid how are you doing, because it may take like 20 to 30 minutes just
Yes.
knowing how the people is going. So usually how I start my meetings is by thanking the people to attending the meeting,
Yeah.
and just let them know, ah, it's good to see you, thank you very much,
Yeah.
bro, and try
That's a
to
good start in small talk as well.
mm.
Or saying something like, hey guys, I want to thank you for being on time. It's 7 sharp right now. I hope everybody's good. Have your coffee already. Because I'm gonna kick off right now with the meeting, okay? You guys okay? Ready to start? Yeah, okay. I think that's good. That could be good. as you say, depending on the audience, depending on the people that you are about to talk to, I think it may vary, right? That's good. All right, so I think what you guys are doing, like what you George said, what you Ben said, what you Carlos said, I think is good because we are all sharing how we do the meetings, and I think sharing work, that's working as a team, and that's a key for success as well. Um, maybe something works for me, or maybe something didn't work for me in the past, but I'm gonna apply what Carlos says. I'm gonna apply what Ben says, or I'm gonna apply what whoever here says, because it might work for me. That's good. Um, start with an introduction. This one I need Hector to explain or to tell me what you think. Outline the objectives. Ben's gonna do that. George, you're gonna help me with develop your meeting. What do you think? Wrap up in questions, Carlos, and also Carlos, you do number 4. Okay. I don't think I have anybody else. Okay, what do you think about start with an introduction, Hector?
It's not really introduction, but it's a formal for me because just using the equation for distance, but it's real action. But start the meeting.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the best way. It's the best way to
Okay,
start that.
it's the best way to start a meeting. But why do you think it is important to start with an introduction,
Because you explain the core for that meeting,
right?
and you pay is the when you pay the attention for the
Right?
audience. Yes, over me.
And what would be a good example of an introduction that you can start?
For example, hello, Marine, and this today start the meeting for the new branch in the in the company, because it's important to create a new projects and the new branches. And I don't know, but it's the example for this presentation.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. The rest of you, Carlos, Ben, George, what do you think it would be a good introduction example of a meeting? I mean, not why is it important or what is it indeed, but what would be an example of an introduction?
Um, well, maybe some context for those one that maybe
Yeah.
don't have it.
Yes.
So something like, hey, we have been experienced some problems with this, so we are here to try to fix
Yes.
this, something like that.
Yes. I think and it that's like put everybody into context. Hey guys, welcome to the meeting. In today's meetings, we'll be going over this specific material. I was talking with Danielle, and she was asking me and wondering like what these things are because some of the things do not make sense. So that's why everybody's here today, and I'm gonna go over that presentation so we clear things out. Does that sound like a plan? And then yeah, you put everybody into the context. That's one example. Okay. Or another could be, hey guys, I mean you're since I'm telling you guys because we're here in this lesson, but whenever you are in a business meeting, you try to stay away from that word like guys, because they're not your guys, they're not your friends, like peers. They're like your bosses, right? Or upper management people. But you can say, welcome everybody. The reason why we're here is because we have a new product. We want everybody to know the product and to be in the loop. So I'm going to explain to you what's new, what's the improvement, what we need to know. And I hope these help everybody to understand a little bit better. Okay? Okay, that will be an introduction as well. Okay, it has to be short and sweet, and it has to be straight to the point. If you do a good start with an introduction, and you sound secure, then everybody's gonna, want to pay attention to you. Otherwise, if you sound like, and looking, everywhere else, right? And that you can, I booked this meeting because I consider it's important to know about the new product. Okay. So then everybody's gonna be like, I mean, it's been 10 seconds and I'm bored already. I want this to end. So that's why the beginning of the meetings, it's a key. It's important that you guys sound like with that energy and confidence in you whenever you're talking, because otherwise people are, people will not, want to be there in the very first 10 seconds. They will want to just, jump off the meeting, right? So that's why it's important. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, good.
It
Ben,
does.
number 3.
Okay. I didn't see my name. I wasn't thinking about a number 3, right? But no problem. I think the number 3 is a little bit related for the introduction, the previous one, regarding the subject, right? So you need to give some context. So what's the purpose of the meeting? Like the example that you were saying, right? That we are here because we saw a couple of things that we'd like to check with you, right? So I think that's important that everyone is aware what's the subject or the purpose of the meeting, so we can all align to have the same outcome from the meeting. In regarding the duration, probably could be really, I think it is a nice thing to do. So you can give in advance some information, some details regarding the meeting, not the content of the meeting, but the meeting
Mm-hmm.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in cases that even though you have booked 1 hour
Right.
meeting, probably you're going to use only 45 minutes, right?
Right.
So people is aware that, okay, this is not going to last 1 hour. It will be a little
Yes.
bit faster, right?
They'll be
So
excited already since the beginning because it's
yeah,
not gonna last an hour.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Their next meet. That's right. Okay. Yeah, it's a key. It's very important. Hey guys, welcome to this meeting. This is gonna be about the new product. This is the subject, so it's gonna be about how to, get to know the new cell phone model. And I booked an hour. It's gonna be only 15 minutes, 45 minutes, I think, and I'll give you the rest of the time off for your next meeting. All right, but just for you to know, I'll try to keep it simple, 45 minutes. If there's any question, max 50, and that's it. Good. That's good, man. Thank you. Carlos.
Basically, I consider the explaining the purpose of the meeting. It's pretty important. Just I'm sorry, what's your name, teacher?
Jairo.
I'm sorry?
Jairo.
Jairo, okay, just
Yeah.
like Jairo was saying, the introduction is like where you say, oh, here's the new product, and the purpose of the meeting, it will be either if you are my clients to fall in love with my product and purchase my product,
Mm-hmm.
or to in case that you are my colleagues at work, is it will be to basically know the product and to know what will be the value that this meeting will give you, right?
Right.
Or what we are expecting to get from the meeting. The introduction, it can be like, this is what we are gonna do, and the purpose, it will be basically what are we going to get from the meeting. That's what I consider.
Yes. Can you think of an example, or can you have someone think of an example on how to explain the purpose, like sound with that confidence and one speaking? Either you do it or you have somebody else do it.
I will have one of my peers do it. Benjamin or Jorge. I have some scenario, but if you guys would like to participate,
That's good. That's good.
or Hector, I don't know if you guys want to do it. No?
You know what people hate?
You
I
put
think
them on the spot, right? Just right like I do it. I'm sorry, guys.
no, no, no. I was gonna say, sometimes people hate as well being put on the spot, but no, I was gonna say that what people hate, and even including me, when I go to meetings and everybody is like, especially the host is like, or the chair of the meeting is like, with that low energy, oh, that kills me. Okay. I rather go to meetings that everybody is like cheerful, maybe not that cheerful, but at least they're not falling asleep.
Yeah,
So doing a small talk, start with an introduction, announce the subject and duration of the meeting, explain the purpose, outline the objectives, develop your meetings, and wrap up with questions. You have to sound confident enough on you with your topic and sound energetic, because otherwise people will hate your meetings. They will go like, oh, Carlos again, like really, we have a meeting with him again? Oh wow. And it's 2 hours, and they just join, and then like, oh man, just talk, man, just finish with this. Oh, Ben again? Oh man, really? Oh, I hate his meetings. Okay, so we don't want
Hey,
people to think we don't want people to think that way.
yeah,
If
and it's pretty important what you're saying, Haida. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's very important because you can have the greatest content on your meeting, but
yes,
if you don't sound energetic, it will,
yep.
the people will lose the interest, and it has happened to me. I like I was telling you guys on the previous classes, I was in charge of providing the awareness for information security
Carlos,
and
can you
at the
hold
previous.
1 second, please? Sorry,
Sure,
I need to pick this up, and this is important.
sure.
But hold your idea. Hola. Sorry, it was my wife.
No,
Um,
no worries.
she's on the road with the car and my son. So, I didn't mean to cut your idea, Carlos. But yeah, you may continue.
No, no worries. So like I was telling you guys, when I may have even the same content for
Great.
different meetings, but I don't have the same impact if because
Good.
let's be honest, we are humans. We
Right.
probably there will be some days where our energy it will be lower, and I didn't have the same impact on
Hmm.
the times where I was not sounding like too energetic, right?
And it's valid.
And I
Yeah.
saw it on the audience because right after I started the meeting, they started like this, like taking the cell phone. And I was like, oh no, I'm just doing something wrong. I need to change. And it's
Yeah.
really important.
You mentioned a very strong word, which is impact. And that's what we want to cause in our meetings. That's our main goal. That's my goal here. Every week, I have a one-on-one with one of the bosses in Canada, and her name is Danielle. I love her meetings. I love every time I have a meeting with her. I join and we're like, hey, how are you? And she's very happy all the time with me. I'm very happy with her. When we're in meetings and we're excited, we're talking. Our meeting is just half hour. Sometimes we extend it to an hour or hour 15 minutes because we're talking and talking and talking and talking because we both like the way we are. And and I think that's good. That's the impact we want to cause to one person or to two people or more. Whoever we connect to or with, that's the impact that we want to cast, which is what Carlos is saying. We might have a great content in our presentations. It could be a very nice presentation with pictures and stuff and numbers, everything in green. But if our energy is very low, if the way we transmit the numbers and ideas is not the best, so then forget it. People will get bored. People will not get want to join our meetings at all. So that's important. I okay. So that was you. Ben again. You go with the objectives. That was good, Carlos.
Okay, so for the objectives, yeah, for me, it is important. So this way you can let the people know what you're looking for, or what's the station of the topic that you are going to be handled during the meeting. And that way, probably a little bit related, or the same thing that I did in the last one. That
Hmm.
in this case, you can address the conversation with the people,
Yep.
and they know if we need to get some specific results, some specific outcomes at the end of the meeting. And it helps to also, for me, it helps to not uh, flying around the topics and get distracted talking about it and some other things that are not important for the meeting. So this keep me focused on the real conversation that we need to have, and also gives more to give more confidence to the people, right? Instead of just talking, it helps to have a direct conversation with them to get to the straight, direct to the points that really
Absolutely.
matters for the meeting.
Absolutely. And it does make sense. Now, especially us, like adults, if you want me to join a meeting, I need to know what the meeting is for. What am I gonna get in that meeting? What is in it for me? What's in that meeting that will benefit myself? And I have an example here. I mean, my presentation is an example. If I go back, okay, so this is my topic. Okay, guys, I met you today because I want you to know how to open meetings. Okay, that's the topic. That should call your attention. Okay, you should be like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to do meetings, how to open a meeting, how to start up a meeting, how to kick off a meeting. And then these are the welcoming phrases, which is the stage that I'm on right now. But Ben is talking about item number 5, which is outline the objectives. And I'm gonna go to the objectives here. If I say, look at the difference between the two. If I say, okay, so these are the welcoming phrases. These are the do's and don'ts in the meetings, and this is the objectives. Consider these do's and don'ts when kickstarting the meeting, and keeping these in mind will help you get things off to a productive and meaningful start. Okay, now continue. Okay, so if I'm talking like that, that's one scenario. But if this is the second scenario, okay? So these are the welcoming phrases. So I'm gonna jump off to the other slide, which is the do's and don'ts in the meeting. Okay. So I want you to see the difference between the things that we should do and the things that we should stay away from them. So out of this meeting, these are the objectives, and this is what I want you to get from this meeting. So I want you to consider. Okay, I want you to consider. Consider means that, okay, so you think either if you do it or not. So it will depend on the type of meeting. So I want you to consider these do's and don'ts when you start a meeting or when you kick start in a meeting. Okay, that's objective number 1. Then objective number 2, or the goal for this meeting, the second goal is to keeping these in mind will help you get things off to a productive and meaningful start. Okay, you see the difference between the two? What do you see in the first scenario and what do you see in the second?
The intonation.
Intonation is it's a key. It's very important.
With the first one, is like you're just following a script, right? Just reading
Yeah.
the information. Like the thing that you said at the beginning, that you're not showing interest in the meeting.
Yes.
You're
It's like,
just doing it because you have to.
yeah, so man, I have to do this presentation to these people. Anyways, I'm gonna start. Okay, so yeah. All right. So intonation, interest. What else does come to your mind?
Also, you
Could be
were emphasizing some words.
Emphasizing. And emphasize. I don't recall this spelling. I think that's it. Can somebody check the spelling? But yeah, and emphasizing on what you want people to get from you and from this meeting, right?
just change the T for the S.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, the T for the S. There you go. Thanks. Good. So yeah, so that's what that's what will make people be more focused on what you want to say to them. So, right. So having your intonation will help me emphasize on the words. Like, for example, this one, I want you to consider, I don't want this to be a rule, like you have to do it, but I want you to consider, I want you to think, or should I do this or should I not do this? Should I say what Jairo says or shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't do that, right? And then also this one, keep in mind, right? So I want you to keep in mind, I'm not telling you do it because I say so, but I want you to keep in mind, sometimes you might, you know, think about it if doing it or not, or just don't do it. So that's my main objective. And the other one was, well, develop your meetings. We already know what's that. And then the last one. Who got the last one? Wrap up in questions.
Develop the meeting was mine.
Was you? Or do you want to add something?
Yeah, maybe when we are developing or mirroring, we should is where we should develop the main topic, right, of the meeting. But we have to
Right.
try to don't change the main idea of the meeting, right? Don't get off the topic.
It
Sometimes
happens
it
sometimes.
happens. Yeah. Well, also another idea I was having in my mind was you should be active listening to
Yeah.
your audience when you're asking for those ideas or participation, right? And building with will and you should build with these ideas, right?
Yeah. Not use your cell phone when you're in the meeting. Even if you're the host, you're not supposed to, unless it is an emergency, like my case, then you use your cell phone, right? But then if somebody else is talking and then you just grab your phone and start swiping, that's not something that we want people to do or you to do, right? And that happens when when you're developing your meeting, because your start of the meeting might be good, your objectives might be good, but then throughout the meeting, as George says, you might be like, the beginning was good, but then in the middle, throughout my development, it's like, oh, just the beginning was good. Then throughout the meeting, George is talking like very low, not energetic. So I'm just gonna see what's on Facebook or what's on Instagram, right? So we wanna keep that engagement. You see how I'm doing it? Like I'm talking to you, but I'm not. It's not like a presentation. The way we should do our meetings, it's the very same way I'm doing it now. Because even though this is my topic, that I should be the one talking right now, because it's my presentation, I'm having that engagement with you. I'm not the only one explaining, but you're also playing a role here. You're explaining, Carlos, Ben, George, you are explaining as well. Of course, in your presentations, there are gonna be a couple of things that you're not, I mean, you cannot like, okay, now you read this slide or this numbers. You cannot say that, but you can engage them by just asking like very short and simple questions, right? Maybe just a little. Um, okay, so that was 6. How about 7?
Number 7, that was me.
Okay.
Eh, again, wrap up and questions is very important because you allow your audience to clarify any doubts they may
Yeah.
have, and it's also very important. So some people sometimes they may be like pretty doubtful of the content, or by some case it happens sometimes
Hmm.
that the people did not pay attention to what you say, and they just want like a wrap up at the end just to
Right.
make sure that they understood everything correctly, and that's a very important for the meeting, that you allow your audience to
Yes.
ask you questions and also to make a short statement of what happened during the meeting.
Yes. And let's not be afraid of questions. I know for a fact that sometimes when we are presenting, or when we're meeting with someone, sometimes we are like, oh, I hope they don't have questions, because either because you don't like to talk, or either because you're nervous, or either because the person that you're presenting the numbers to is kind of tough or whatever. Sometimes we are nervous, and we try to stay away from questions. We're like, okay, do you have questions? 1, 2. Okay, okay, nobody has questions. Thank you. I want to thank you for being in this meeting. Bye. Ciao. Give the time, give enough time. Hey guys, well, not guys, because you're in a business minute. Okay, everyone, this is what I had. Okay, and just to summarize, this is what I was explaining, and that's it. I want to thank you for being here, but before I let you go, I want to know if you have a question. And then you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You wait a bit, right? And then okay, you guys sure don't have a question? Like, feel free to open your microphone, or throw your question in the chat, because I'm here to answer your questions. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, nobody asked a question. Okay, that's good. Okay, so then thank you. I wish you have a good Thursday, and talk to you next time. Ciao. So I gave enough time for people to ask me questions. Okay. What am I doing if I'm giving them enough time to ask me questions? If I give them enough time to ask me a question, if there's any, what am I showing to them, or what am I doing?
Confidence. You
Yes.
ensure that you are able to handle the topic,
Yep.
and that you can answer any questions they have. And it may happen sometimes that you don't have all the answers,
Yep.
and that's not bad. You just let them know that you do not know the answer. I think it's better to be honest than to tell them, look, I don't know, let me find that out,
Yep.
and I'll get back to you. Is better than just trying to make something up at the moment, because that can be like,
Worst.
it can be worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So you show them how confident you are. If I'm like, okay, do you have questions on the topic I just explained to you? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. I want to thank you, everyone. See you next time. Bye. And then, and if you were already doubting about him, not being sure about the info, and then you were, okay, so I know he didn't know anything about this. He didn't know a thing of it. Okay, but then if I been talking with confidence, with that energy, again, energy, that's to mean like I'm gonna be like, hi everyone, what? No, I mean, I'm not talking about that. Okay, I'm talking about like I'm not talking sleepy. Okay. So, and if I'm talking with that energy and confidence, and then in the end, I give them enough room to ask questions, I'm showing them how confident I am, and I'm gonna build that confidence in them to trust me. The next time they join, they'll know that I know what I'm talking about. And if what Carlos says, that if you ever do not know the answer of a question, it's quite normal. It has happened to me in the past. Actually, I think it happened like 2 weeks ago. I was in a meeting with about 40 people, and then somebody asked me a question. I didn't know the answer, and I was honest. You know what? That's a very good question. However, I'm not 100% sure, because that's not something that I do in a daily base. But I'll get back to you right after this meeting, or we're gonna stay after this meeting a few minutes more, so we can deep dive into the platform and see what the answer is with this. Okay, and then that's okay. It's totally fine if you don't know the answer for something. Good. So we covered this part and this part. And I just have like 4 minutes, I think, 5, to go over this last section. Okay. Um, uh, George, can you help me read this section here,
Okay.
please?
Do's and don'ts of meeting introductions. Don't take too long. Remember to be respectful. of attendees' time, and that some may have a meeting after the one you are leading. Keep the introduction short and sweet. Do including attendees. Trying using the word you to get people excited about participating and having a conversation. It will also share what's in the discussion for them.
Thank you. Respect people's time like this one. Remember to be respectful of attendees' time and that some may have a meeting. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I do. Okay, I connect at 7 a.m. and if Ben is here, I start talking with Ben. I don't tell Ben, you know what, Ben? I'm gonna wait 5-10 minutes for somebody else to join and then I'll talk to you. No. I start talking to him and then I say, okay, we're gonna wait maybe 1 minute so we can start the class, the topic. But in the meantime, in this 1 minute, I'm gonna talk to you, okay? In 1 minute max, I think is good. But then waiting 5 minutes, 10 minutes for somebody else to join, no. I gotta respect people's time, and I think 1 minute max is good enough. So you should do that in your minutes as well. Comments or questions here? No, good.
No, good.
And good. Let's go to the last section here. Ben, if you want to help me read, please.
Sure. Don't overpromise or exaggerate. Be as transparent as you can regarding the state of the project and don't promise unrealistic results by the end of the meeting. Don't get creative. Don't well. The introduction can be a time for you to have some fun and get attendees comfortable around one another. Do use follow up for your meeting agenda, which includes the introduction.
Fellow ops, it's a program as well, or you can use whatever you want to use. It could be a simple agenda. It could be a notepad, whatever you guys consider helps you about getting your things ready or anything that helps. Like me, for example, I use a notepad all the time, or I use my agenda. Sorry, I'm just gonna take it out here. I always use my agenda. I used Notepad, I used a virtual agenda, but I'm always using my physical agenda as well, and I'm writing things down here because sometimes I tend to forget it. I have my laptop, I have my desktop, I have my phone, and sometimes I don't even recall where I wrote it down. And so the agenda I think works best because I just can have it here. And then if I forget something, then I just come here and check. Or I have my bullet points. Like if for this meeting, I want to stay focused on 5 important aspects, so I'm just gonna write them down here. And then while I'm talking with people, I'm gonna be like looking at the agenda. Oh, step number 3, I'm missing step number 3. And then I focus on the audience and start talking about step number 3. Does that make sense? Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Good. So it's 8 in the morning. I want to thank you for being here. If you got no questions, I'm gonna let you go. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Rest of the
Thank you,
day.
guys.
Ciao.
See you tomorrow.
See you
Bye.
tomorrow.
Happy
Bye.
Thursday.